hats off to Ohio State for hosting this event and everything that goes into it from their end. It's not something easy, but I know the Buckeyes will pull it off really well. It is good to be here. We've had a year that has been a unique one, to say the least, for us. I can't tell you how proud I am of these guys, especially the two captains that really kept the ship going in the right direction. We had a year where I think we learned a lot about ourselves, each other, and kind of how to play the game the right way. And we're still on the uprise with that. So we'll see what this weekend has for us.
Flip it to Owen next. Owen, just opening statements on being here in one of 8 teams with a chance to win it all.
Yeah, it's exciting. Every year that we get to come here is a great privilege, an opportunity to just kind of show what we have on the East Coast. So we're excited to do it.
Before we turn it over, Will, to you, just a place you're familiar here in Columbus, and just again, one of the 8 teams with a chance.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get to make it to the stage, it's definitely a blessing, one that we're really appreciative for. That's why you come to Penn State, is for a chance to play for championships. So anytime that we're here, we feel confident in our ability. So we'll see what happens.
Coach Vangelope's here from Off the Block. Before we delve into the questions, just some housekeeping. Any injury updates since your last round match? Any changes?
I'm feeling pretty good. Coaching staff, no major injuries to report, thankfully. No, Vin, we're in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah. Any changes to the starting lineup since the match?
Not that I've been told.
Question for both the players. Pav alluded to a little bit. This year's been a little bit different. In terms of the record and everything. What all, though, did you do as captains, and especially with the younger players, to make sure, that everyone didn't get too down on themselves, and you could have the second half turnaround?
Yeah, O actually said something really insightful at the last one of these we did at Damon. He said, when we were 0-7, we knew there was a possibility for it to kind of go downhill, and despite that, we just kind of stayed constant, stayed consistent. I think that's a testament to our culture and the attitudes that we have in the locker room. Didn't seem like anybody was jumping ship or anything. So it was really just, we were able to take those lessons and grow from them. So it's really, I don't think it's anything that we quite did, but more so just a good team effort from us. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at our start and say whatever you want, but those first 6 matches, we're playing top 10, top 15 teams. We're not playing bad competition, right? And we won a bunch of sets in those 6 matches, and we had chances to kind of step on throats, and we didn't. But I mean, we had a young group, and it was all a learning opportunity. So the message that we were sharing in the locker room, the coaches were sharing, it's there really is no need to panic, right? You can look at the grand scheme of things and say, sure, start out 0-6, 0-7. We're losing games that we would like to win, but we knew that we still control our own destiny to come here. Whatever happens in those first 6 to 7 matches, that's not what's going to help us get here. What happens in April, that's what's going to get us here. So it was all just kind of preparing for that.
And then Owen, I want to ask you, looking at this match specifically against Hawaii, looking at their offense, especially their pins, what do you all have to do, especially at the net, to slow down the Hawaii offense?
Yeah, I mean, get good touches, obviously, but it starts with our service pressure. That's kind of something that's evolved throughout the year, just guys finding their rhythm and finding what works for them best. Because if they're insistent, they're going to be hard to stop. I mean, all 8 teams here insistent, they're going to be hard to stop. So working on getting them off the net, but just communicating with pin blockers what we want from them, and then just me engaged, doing our best to just close, get good touches. So.
And Will, this is your second time to meet the Rainbow Warriors this year. What was your biggest takeaway from that match in Hawaii about 2 months ago?
Well, like you said, they have good offense. They have a lot of strengths. I don't know. They're a talented team. I don't have a real specific takeaway, but I think that it's hard to look back at that match and compare and draw conclusions, because I think that we've evolved so much as a team, and I'm sure so have they. So we know we're going to be in for a challenge, and I think if we play some good volleyball, I think we're going to give them a good match. So.
And Pav, I want to ask you specifically, what's been a couple areas where you feel your team has really improved upon since that match at Hawaii?
I think more than anything else, our ability to remain focused. O brought it up maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, just next play mentality. I think we've been able to, in the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, been able to shut down our panic, if you will, when good teams run 1, 2 points on you, and then we give them a 3rd point on a hitting error or lack of communication, and the downward spiral continues. I think we've gotten much better at just managing that and understanding that the game is the game. You're going to be in those situations. So take what the games gives you and rely on what you've been doing in the practice gym with regularity, and we can stop some of those runs now that maybe we let go earlier in the year. And instead of just giving up 3 points, we were giving up 5 or 6.
And then question for the players, you look at this match a little bit of an earlier start time. I know in your youth you were playing matches at 7 a.m., but is there any adjustments you have to make as players preparing for a 1:30 start compared to a 7 o'clock start?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're used to playing matches at 7 o'clock, and then maybe Saturdays we'll play a little bit earlier, 4 or 5. Not much changes with our routine. I think, any game day we're going to get a serving pass in, we're going to get a meal in, scouting report. So a little bit of different logistics just from the timing side, but nothing that really changes our approach.
Volleyball.
And also for Will and Owen, you two are up here, but it takes a lot of great players to have a team go this far. Who's the player that we're not talking about, but we should be talking about on your team?
Yeah, I don't think it's one specific guy. We've talked about all year. We need 1 through 20 to win. I mean, especially during that EIVA little run where we kind of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. We sat down as a team and just look, nobody jumped ship yet, right? We still control our own destiny. We have control over how our season's going to end. It's going to take all of us to focus and show up every day with a positive attitude, want to get better, want to be better for the team, do whatever they can. So I'd say it's a credit to everybody, not one specific person, because it truly does take everybody bought in to be successful. So
yeah, we've gotten amazing contributions from a ton of guys this season, so it's hard to pick one. Yeah, I'm with Owen on that one.
And then also, you two have been here before, but some of your players, teammates haven't. What's been your message to them during this NCAA tournament season?
I think the big one for us is just have fun with it. It can be easy sometimes to think, oh, we're playing in an NCAA quarterfinal match to put added pressure on yourself. But really, the message that we're sending to our guys is we're just playing volleyball. So let's be calm, let's be consistent. Let's be competitive and just do what we do best. So.
Pav, I want to ask you kind of just a little bit broader, looking at the game. Obviously, last week news came out about Grand Canyon. Just what's your thoughts currently? I know this could be, it's been an hour talking about this, but just kind of the state of men's volleyball right now as the sport, like all other sports, try to navigate this changing landscape in college athletics.
Yeah, we're getting hit by, I think, different storm fronts. It's not a perfect storm by any stretch of the imagination. I think you look at the great energy that we had after the USA in the finish with the bronze this summer, and the excitement that was going on for men's volleyball there, and now the house settlement and the roster limits, and what are we going to do with that? And it just seems like we need advocacy at the highest levels, whether that's the highest levels of the NCAA, the highest levels of our institutions. We need people that understand that this game is pretty special to all of us, and also to understand that although we don't ask for much, what we need, and we need people to understand that The men's game is growing at the grassroots level. We've got more and more states bringing it along as a state championship sport. We've got to start to understand that the decision making, the vision process of where this sport can be, and not just collegiately, because we're part of the ecosystem of that. But we need some help from people that have the ability to work in how everything fits together. And there are times, I think, certainly in the last week or so, I felt that collegiate men's volleyball has been treated as kind of the redheaded stepchild of, oh, just do this and they'll be fine, or just let that go, they'll be fine. And I think the response that we've had from across the board with GCU has been nothing short of phenomenal. People should know that this is very important. You just don't make decisions with no real good reason and expect that the rest of us are going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, that's fine. It is not.
And just want to ask the players, thinking back to your time in high school, how important is it for you all, thinking about these high school kids coming up, to have lots of options when they're looking at college, if they want to pursue volleyball, to have many teams available that they can look at and enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I was very blessed. Even my middle school school had a men's team, which I know is pretty rare. So I was able to play from a young age and throughout high school, and obviously volleyball has taught me a lot, and to be able to pursue it in college has had a profound impact on me and everybody that I met and all my experiences. So it's definitely important for the younger generations who have even more opportunities, certainly.
What he said.
All right, well, it's media day, so I do have to end with a couple off-the-wall questions if you're ready for it. All right, so looking at your mascot, we know he's stylish. What position would he be best suited for on a volleyball court?
I'd probably go center. Guy looks like a really good athlete. Somebody I want to control my offense, so go center.
That sounds good to me.
All right, and then for both the players, what gymnastics event do you think that you would be best at?
Well, you could actually look up Penn State men's volleyball tries gymnastics and see how miserable we were at that. I don't know. I would like to try balance beam. I don't think I'd be good at it though.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably like one of the trampoline things. That sounds pretty fun.
Before we wrap up, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, about for you guys, obviously you're the captains. What have you kind of emphasized, or how have you on game day? How do you plan to keep the young guys from getting in their own heads and just kind of staying focused if times get tough?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that comes with experience, right? Being put in those uncomfortable situations makes you more comfortable with them in the future. But something that we talked about a lot in the beginning of the year was kind of like the negative self-talk stuff. I go up, I make a hitting error, right? We come down the huddle and I'm like, oh, my bad. Like, yeah, everybody knows it's my bad. I just dispatched the ball out of bounds. But like that's something that instead of coming back with like a negative words, like my bad, like I need to do better, stuff like that, we kind of just talk about like the next point, and we use that kind of as like a reset. So if I dispatch a ball out of bounds, I go come back in the huddle. I'll be like, well, great pass, whatever. It's like side out next point. So kind of just that positive talk kind of leads to like a reset the next play, instead of kind of like bringing yourself down and kind of just, I don't know, evens everybody up.
Yeah, I think one thing that is important for us to reemphasize to our guys too is that like we're prepared for this moment and we're built for this moment. Coach Colin, he told us before the EIVA championship match, you guys played a really tough schedule this year. You faced a lot of good competition. We've been on the road for forever. I mean, we played 4 games at home, or more than that, but
Thanks.
yeah, well, sorry. But yeah, we had like a just a couple of home weekends compared to a lot on the road. So we're comfortable in this environment, right? We're comfortable playing really high-level teams, and we're comfortable playing in gyms that aren't our own. So I think if we can really buy into that too, that'll help us help the guys calm down a little bit.
And Coach, is there anything that you've done to like kind of, or anything that you've emphasized to like prepare young group like into like an NCAA tournament environment?
No, just believe in your strengths, and we've talked since September about what kind of group this team wants to be, and everything that I've seen, everything that you've heard here, reinstills in me that they've taken that very seriously. And a lot of the things that I think coaches get credit for really boil down to, do you have the strength of leadership to reiterate the message every day that everybody is buying in? So it makes it real easy at the end of the year at these quote unquote big matches that, you know, the rah-rah speech, totally unnecessary. These guys know what's in front of them. They understand what they've been through, and they believe in what got them here. Now, are we going to be good enough to beat Hawaii? I don't know, but I'm glad we got that opportunity to find out.